Scars of Yesteryears is the third full-length album from French melodic black metal band Inherits the Void. Now, specifically, the way that they describe their music and its intention is a mixture of atmospheric black metal sounds and all that, and also music that is primarily rhythmically driven by melodic black metal. And I would say that melodic black death metal is probably the way that I would describe the dynamic of their music, although there is certainly a strong atmospheric touch that is fundamental to what separates them from a lot of what's going on in German black metal, for an example, is heavily indebted to both atmospheric and black melodic black metal. So there's a lot of that there in this sound, but he's got a little bit more of the melodic black death sound in there in terms of the way that he writes riffs. To get a sense of what this sounds like, we'll kind of just go right to it and cut to a song and talk more about what we're listening to here. One thing that this artist has always done right is get the pacing right when it comes to melodic black metal, and that is that it should be furiously stated. It should be inadvisably fast in the way that it blasts out its attack, and the riffs should match that intensity in their development of melody. Without those craning, extended, arm-breaking riffs, I don't think melodic black death metal would have been that exciting, and you wouldn't find a ton of mid-paced dissection songs from their last album on as many playlists as the early stuff with which rushed out and attacked. And so when you're trying to make an atmospheric black metal record, that's difficult. I think bands like Wormwood intend to sound both atmospheric and melodic at the same time, but they lean towards atmospheric for the sake of not being able to cut as many riffs without bludgeoning the listener or aggressing with the pace. And the same is true here, except Inherits the Void chooses the side of violence. They rush through the pacing here, and it makes for a very classic touch through what they do. To be clear, this sounds much more like Swedish black metal than it does French black metal, but there is post-black metal in there, along with mellow death, as I would state it, in terms of the composition of the riffs and the sometimes jaunty feeling they come up with when they slow down a little bit. So there is a mid-90s melodic death feeling in there too, but overall the attack of it moves us more towards melodic black metal overall. Beyond that, this is a record that regrets the past history of the world. It is feeling the impact of the way the world was shaped by war and colonization, and especially the environment and its concern with that. And so there's a strong point of view behind it, which leads to this a passionate feeling and delivery of its lyrics and its message overall, but it's still set in a fantastical world at the same time. So there's a lot to pull from the experience if you want to go deeper with the lyrics and what it has to say. But overall, the feeling is it has this grief process to it that is deeper than a lot of records which go for a colder, maybe more performative tone when you look at either Magua or Dissection-esque black metal today. So I appreciate that about this. It's not quite as brutally stated as the previous record was, but still like I said, the pacing is kept up to a degree where it still feels intense at every step. And so it was a joy to listen to for me. I really love this style. I think that it does get a little bit kind of cloying at times in terms of producing melodies that are leaning towards the early 2000s melodeath side of things. But overall, a very strong record and a high recommendation. I think they got most elements right for this record, and they only seem to be improving with each one. So check that out yourself. It released on June 21st, and read my review for more of my thoughts.